Hot diggity dog, what a wild day today, guys. The market was ripping in all directions. GNPX, whoo! We could have ran away with 30% on the first trade alone. I think we closed that. Okay, yeah, so we closed the first trade with 9.24%, and then we made two more trades. I want to review those with you guys because you already saw the first one during the live stream, but we'll go over all three. The last trade we made today was just holy moly. We basically got a perfect support line bounce entry, but then the stock got halted. So that's right. I got into a position right when a stock got halted. Unfortunately, it was going down, right? This is a halt where the stock is going down and I'm a long position. And typically after the 5-minute halt or 10 minutes, as it happens sometimes, then there is a continuation. And let's just say that's what happened. And I got most of it on camera, so I'll do a little clip as well so you guys can see the whole trade live. I'm not going to tell you what my total P&L percentage is for the day just yet, because I want to leave some suspense in that video for you guys. But at the end of this video, I'll show you my P&L percent and dollar amount for all of my trading activity for the day, like I always do. Look how creepy it looks outside. I gotta say though, it's freezing outside and there's something in the air and it just smells super, super good. It's like a big bonfire. Nothing like some good old city air. And remember, always hit that like button. Woo! Or subscribe. I don't judge. You can subscribe too and hit the like button. 2 for 1. What? Alrighty, tidy. It's time for the charts. Okay, I gotta make sure not to show you guys quickly this GNPX entry and exit. GNPX was up because it got an FDA fast track approval for a lung cancer therapy treatment that they're doing. So, anytime you get a fast track on FDA, it's just, typically really, really good news. And we've been trading a few biotechs lately that have been getting this and all have been big runners. And you might be wondering, what in the kitty litter does fast track FDA approval mean? Well, I wasn't entirely sure myself and I looked it up. And according to Wikipedia, Fast Track is a designation by the United States Food and Drug Administration, FDA, that you guys have all heard of an investigational drug or expedited review to facilitate development of drugs which treat a serious or life-threatening condition and fill an unmet medical need. Fast Track designation must be requested by the drug company. Then I was like, okay, well, that sounds like really, really good news. But then I went down here and I was like, how long does an FDA approval take? And check this out. The company that submits an application, usually about 100,000 pages, praise the Lord, baby Jesus, that is just ridiculous, to the FDA for approval, a process that can take up to 2.5 years. What? After the final approval, the drug becomes available for physicians to prescribe. So this is a normal FDA approval. And I'm looking for how long does a FDA fast track review take, and it looks like there's a priority review. I'm not sure if that's the same thing. That takes about 6 months. So a fast track designation must be requested by the drug company. We already know that. The request can be initiated at any time during the drug development process. FDA will review the request and attempt to make a decision within 60 days. Okay, that's much quicker. So 3 months compared to 1 to 2 years. That sounds really, really good. And honestly, it only makes sense for a company to request fast track designation if they are pretty sure that this will work. And as you can see, 360% up for GNPX. It seems like the market thinks it's generally a good thing as well. Not to mention, you can see over here, the market cap on this is 26 million. And this is after it ran today. This is already, in the morning, I think it was or yesterday, it was about 10 million market cap. So, just crazy growth on this thing. And the shares outstanding, 19 million shares outstanding. This thing's beautiful. I mean, this is a very, very small cap, and these things can run. And you can see up 273%. This thing was up over 360% at one point. So, super cool that we were able to ride some of that momentum. So here is the very quick live, I guess it wasn't live, but recorded GNPX trade. I'll see you back here Let me just go ahead and zoom through it quickly for you guys. All right, so this is our second trade on GNPX. The first one you don't see right now because I'm in a different account because we're doing the small account challenge. I entered, it was, well, you would think it's a perfect entry, but since it moved, I think, you know, outside of the 15 or what, 10% in the last 5 trading minutes, it got halted. So we are in this one right now, tiny position, so that's good. 460 shares at 147. That's 670 bucks. Luckily, tiny position. Let's see how this one plays out. Last time I got halted on the way down was right here, and it went down 10% right afterwards. So 10% drop would be right around here, 133, which I think is totally likely. Let's see what happens here. It's about to get unhalted in maybe 20 seconds. We've had 2 trades today. Both of them were about 8% trades. So, you know, good trading day overall, but we might give back a little bit of profit right now. So let's see what happens. Okay, big support here at 138, holding so far. Would like to sell this one pretty quickly. Don't want it to go down this area again. All right, our tiny position's out. I just didn't want to risk it anymore at the 140. Once I saw that volume come in there and crack it, I'll take my $32 loss. That's no problem. I do think there's an insanely good chance that this is going to bounce. So it's kind of hard cutting out those losses, but I got to stick true to my rules, and there's just too much risk on this one, so I got out. I think there's a tremendous chance that this is going to pop to the upside. You just don't want to be in a stock that gets halted. Yes, I think we got pretty lucky on this one. We all remember what happened to SNCA when it got halted and it was just dropping like a rock. Still has not recovered. So yeah, we could probably got a better exit, but you want to force these exits when it's not looking like it's going your favor. Not to mention this thing is up 270%. It was up 360 at one point. All right, here it's going, dropping. Phew, yeah, pretty happy I'm out of it. It could have ended much worse for us. So that was it. I mean, whew. I'm just so happy it didn't just rip on down there. And let me show you guys how it finally turned out. So this is all the accounts, and you can see here on GNPX, yeah, this is how we ended. I mean, we didn't sell at the worst point. We sold right around here at the 40, so 1.4, which was good because, you know, that was our loss on this one was 4.76%, which is totally fine. This thing did run up though in about 10% right here, even more than that. I was really thinking about holding it, but you know, I just didn't want to go past my risk tolerance. And one of the big reasons I wanted to hold it actually is because we were halted right here and we pulled back about 10%. And if you guys remember, I was saying, you know, we're probably going to see some big support here at the 1.33, and guess what? That's the lowest we got, and then we turned around. I didn't really want to sell it, but at the same time, you don't know if this is just going to dip all the way down here, and before you know it, you're down, you know, 10, 20, 30%. You know, we've all seen SCNA, and we don't want to be part of that. I had to get out of my trade. We could have probably closed this trade for a small profit. We entered right here at 1.47, and then we ran up a little bit here. So yeah, this could have been a small profit trade actually, but ultimately it was a loss. I was just, a little bit too, I don't even want to say aggressive. I actually, it was a phenomenal entry. If this didn't get halted, I almost want to say there's a really good chance it would have turned around. I don't know, maybe it would have continued selling off, but I don't think there would have been such an aggressive selling. But who knows? You just never really know for sure. Either way though, this was the last halt, and then, it consolidated, and then we ran up here 26%. So it already got halted on the way down. And I figured, this halt isn't really because there's big sellers, especially because the volume. I think this halt was just purely, obviously, it was because the percentage movement, but I don't think the percentage movement was really caused by, aggressive overselling and fear. I think it was just, stops going off and just a few other things. And you can just tell in the volume, like, it wasn't that aggressive. And it kind of made me want to stay in it, but at the same time, I didn't want to break my rules. This thing went down another 5%, and I would have had to get out. I can't take that much risk, and I don't want to be down more than 5% really ever. So I already held the trade longer than I probably should have. I probably should have got out right away, especially when, we could have closed it for that, 15, 17, $20 loss. And I know you guys are probably thinking, Alex, what are you doing? Like, these $20, who cares? I don't care. Well, let me quickly tell you, we have been building our account now from $4,000 to $5,333. We're doing a small account challenge, and my goal is by October to get it to $25,000. That's basically a 6.3 times account growth that I want to achieve. And the way we're doing that is by consistently taking profits and cutting our losses quickly. And that's exactly what's been going on. So our profit chart is looking really, really good. It's just, these first few months, these first 2, 3, probably 4 months are going to be just a little bit slower, just because obviously our position size is tiny. And I understand that, but it doesn't matter. It's all about focusing on the percentage returns, because if you can make, consistently. So today, we wrapped up today between our 3 trades, 11.9%. So that's a really nice growth. And, if you just consistently do that, and you can do that with a $1,000 position size, then you can do that with a $10,000 position size. There comes a point where it's going to be a little bit trickier, obviously, to enter and exit trades, but we want to focus right now on building that foundation. So yeah, there's my rant. Let's review the other 2 trades. The first trade you guys saw in the live stream, we got almost a near perfect entry here at 1.19. So this is really cool. I was hoping we would continue this break to the upside here, but then we had a 1 minute pullback. I got out of our position, which is kind of unfortunate because let's see, I got out here 1.3, and then it ran 28%. Oh my God. Yeah. So we got out way too early, but who knows? I definitely would have got out here anyway at a 1.4, maybe 1.39. I would have been totally happy with that exit. Even that would have been an additional, 10%. An additional 10% on this trade, this could have been we could have locked in $200 profit on this trade, and $200 with a, what was this, like a $900 position size. Just, those are some really, really nice returns. And I guess one thing I want to say about this trade is you can see when the market opened, we had some 5 minute, we had this doji candle, and the doji candle closed right around here at 1.26. And I knew this was just generally a big support zone. We had a pullback, we had a break to the upside, and I was expecting another pullback, and that's a big reason why I entered here. You can see I originally had my limit order right around here, I think it was 1.21, and we dipped down hard, and I moved my limit order down again, because usually when you have one of those really quick pullback candles, there'll be one or two more candles that pull back again, and that's why I moved my limit order down. And I didn't move my limit order up. I was like, okay, if that pulls back that fast, I'm going to be a little bit cautious. So it was a great entry. Exit, not so hot, but you never know. Sometimes you get one of these 1 minute pullbacks and it never comes back, and then before you know it, it just dips on down, and even looked like it. It was looking a little shaky. So you never want to be in one of these trades and all of a sudden, the price is here and you're like, wow, I could have closed that for a 10% profit, and now I'm down 5%. So, you got to act quickly sometimes, and I don't regret what we did at all, but it's a kind of getting a common theme where I've been closing out all my morning breakout trades just way too early. So I can't wait till we, snag one of those big ones, but at the same time, I'm not going to force it. And there's no reason to, unnecessarily hold one of these things, because at one point, you don't want to be on the wrong side of that trade. Man, FCL, this was another one we were looking at today, and I was so close to trading FCL. We had a alert right here at 2.65, and the only reason I moved it down here is because I was so busy looking at NVAX at the time, and I couldn't really decide which one I wanted to trade. I went with NVAX, so we're going to review that trade now. But FCEL, big runner today, and it would have been a phenomenal trade. I think if we had 4 trades, this would have been my other one. So let's check out NVAX. Super big runner today, and we got a pretty sweet trade on this one. I'm super stoked about it. 266 million market cap, 32 million shares outstanding, and check out this dollar volume, over $200, $218 million volume. That is massive. And for something with a 266 million market cap, it's pretty good as well. Sometimes you see some of these smaller market caps like 27 billion, over 100, sometimes over 200 million. It could be more, but just in general, $218 million volume is just really good. This one had no specific news about it, so there was no micro news about this company. But if you check here, experimental vaccine stocks jump on concerns about the new virus in China. So we have this coronavirus, I hope I'm saying that right, in China right now. Hopefully everything is fine, but I don't really know much about it. Anyway, this macro news has been affecting all these small experimental vaccine companies, and they have just been rallying like crazy. And what I noticed here, if you check out the daily chart down here, you can see that this thing was really breaking above some major resistance today. So what I was thinking is at some point today, it might have a healthy pullback to this big breakout zone, this big monthly breakout zone right here. And so $7 around is what I thought was going to be some major support. And you can see we just had constant selling off today. And then right around here, the selling really picked up for one last time. You can see a nice little increase in selling volume. Our entry wasn't like super perfect, 7.47. And then I think we were down about 2% at one point. No, 1.6% we were down about. But then, this thing reversed and we sold in one of these spikes. I could have probably held it and took out another, 3-4%. But, anytime I get over 5% on a support line bounce, I'm typically closing out my position. The only reason I held this one a little bit longer is because it was just so aggressive. You typically don't get a bounce that's this aggressive so quickly. And a big part of me kind of even wanted to hold it longer than this, but this is just, this is not typically how I trade support line bounces, and typically I would have got out here. Again, like I was saying, there's just so much buying power, and I typically don't see that, so I decided to let this one sit a little bit longer, and this time it worked out really well. And going over here, you can see the 3 trades I did today. First GNPX, then we had NVAX, and again, one more time, GNPX. So here you can see all of our different trades and how much money we made for each one. And just keep in mind, our position size right now is about $900 per trade. Yeah, so we wrapped the day up with a nice $128 profit, which is pretty good. So yeah, another really nice green day. January has been on fire so far. I'm super stoked. I couldn't really be any happier. I can't wait to keep growing this account and really get to those bigger position sizes. I would really want to be over $1,000 per entry for all of our trades by the end of January. And then, that would give us, going into February, kind of a really nice foundation to hopefully hit the ground running and end February on a really solid note. So let's see what happens. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Don't forget to hit that like button if you found value in this content, and subscribe if you're new and you want to see some more trading videos. I'll see you again tomorrow morning, Eastern Standard Time. Till then, like always, stay safe and make some awesome trades. Ciao.